Then hope you are doing good. And last class I have discussed with you about the introduction of reproductive system and functions of reproductive system. And regarding male reproductive system, I have discussed a structure of a male reproductive system, isn't it, children? And today also I am going to discuss about the structure of male reproductive system only. Last class I have discussed only about testes I have discussed, isn't it? So today, what are the ducts, what are the glands which are associated with the male reproductive system? All I am going to discuss with you. Okay, children? Okay, come. As per the text, the accessory duct associated with the male reproductive system are red testis, was efferentia, epididymis, and was difference. These are the accessory duct which are associated with the male reproductive system. You will get as a 2-mark question, children. Please bracket it. That is red testis, was efferentia, epididymis, and was difference, or the accessory duct which are associated with the reproductive system. And seminiferous tubules. Let's discuss about one by one. Seminiferous tubules of each lobule converge to form a tubulus rectus that conveys the sperm into the red testis. Red testis is a tubular network on the posterior side of the testis. The sperm leave the red testis and enter the epididymis through the vas efferentia. Then the epididymis is a single highly coiled tube that temporarily stores the spermatozoa, and they undergo physiological maturation and require increased motility and fertilizing capacity. Please, children, okay, let's discuss about this duct one by one. Okay, already I said about a seminiferous tubules. Okay, see, testis is divided into 200 to 250 lobules. In each lobules there are 2 to 4 highly coiled tubules called seminiferous tubules are present, and in the seminiferous tubules there are two types of cells. One is Sertoli cells, another one is male germ cells. Sertoli cells are providing nourishment for the developing sperms till its maturity, and male germ cells is converted into a spermatozoa. So then sperm production has taken place in the seminiferous tubule. It is clear, isn't it, children? Okay. Next, what happened? The seminiferous tubule of each lobule converge to form a tubulus duct. Okay. The seminiferous tubules of all the lobules converge. That means all the seminiferous tubules join together to few seminiferous tubules join together form a rectus, tubulus rectus. Okay, children, and that convey the sperm into the red testis. So seminiferous tubule is the place where sperm production is taken place. Few seminiferous tubules converge, that is joined together, form tubulus rectus. This tubulus rectus convey the sperm from the seminiferous tubule into the red testis. Okay, children. So there is a line, seminiferous tubule, tubular join to form a tubulus rectus, and tubulus rectus enter into the red testis, so that it pass the sperm from the seminiferous tubule into the red testis. Next, the red testis is a tubular network. What is red testis? It is a tubular network. Where it is located? It is located on the posterior side of the testis. And sperm, okay, now the sperm enter into the red testis. Next, where it has to go? The sperms leave the red testis and enter into the epididymis. It enter into the epididymis through the vas efferentia. So it is understood that next to the red testis vas efferentia is there. Through the vas efferentia, the sperms are enter into the epididymis, right? So there is a sequence of passage of sperm pathway, that is seminiferous tubule, and tubulus rectus. From tubulus rectus it enters into the red testis. From the red testis it is enter into vas efferentia. Then it enter into the epididymis. Okay, from the epididymis the sperm are passed into the vas deferentia. Vas deferentia enter into the ejaculatory duct. From the ejaculatory duct the sperms are passed out to the exterior through the urethra. This is the pathway of sperm conduction, children. And here we want to discuss one thing, that is about epididymis. It is given here, each and every sentence given is very essential. What is epididymis? Mention its role or functions in reproduction. You have a set 2 mark question. See, the epididymis is nothing but a single highly coiled tube. The sperms are stored temporarily in epididymis, and when they are storing temporarily in the epididymis, it undergoes some physiological maturation and acquired increased motility and fertilizing capacity. This is what very important, children. You know that you will have in when you are attending for a competitive exam, you will have question like that. When the epididymis is not present in female reproductive system, the result will be, okay, so you will get many option. Then what is so sometimes one of the statement is not correct, like that it will be given. So first option physiological maturation, second option increased motility, third option fertilizing capacity. All are it's getting in the epididymis only, no children. When the epididymis is not present, what happened, there won't be a physiological maturation of sperm have taken place, and it is motility also will not be increased, fertilizing capacity also will not acquire. So automatically the sperm will be what? Sterile. It will not be viable. It will become a sterile, because in the epididymis only it acquiring fertilizing capacity, increase the motility. When the sperm motility will be more and the fertilizing capacity will be more, conception will be more. So these are the consequence of epididymis. So when epididymis is not present in a male reproductive system, these consequences will not be taken place in male reproductive system, and the sperms become what? Sterile one. Okay, it loses its fertilizing capacity. So it is a very important concept. Please note it down, children, as a 2 mark question. What is epididymis and what is its main function? Okay, and next one is the epididymis leads to the vas deferens. Okay, next to the epididymis, as I said, it leads to the vas deferens and joins the duct of the seminal vesicle, okay, to form a ejaculatory duct. So this vas deferens join with the seminal vesicle to form a duct that is called a ejaculatory duct, which passes through the prostate and opens into the urethra. This ejaculatory duct passes through a prostate gland. This is our accessory gland: seminal vesicle, prostate gland, bulbourethral gland, or accessory glands, which we will see in the upcoming pages. Okay, and this ejaculatory duct pass through the prostate gland, open into the urethra. The urethra is the terminal portion of the male reproductive system and used to convey both urine and semen at different times. It originates from the urinary bladder and extends through the penis by an external opening called urethral meatus. Then the accessory glands of the, okay, in this paragraph I have discussed with you about accessory ducts. Okay, accessory ducts, that is seminal vesicle open into the converge to form a tubulus rectus and convey the sperm into the red testis. Red testis is a highly coiled tubule which convey the sperm into the epididymis through vas efferentia. Vas epidermis leads to the vas deferens. Vas deferens join with the seminal vesicle to form a ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct pass through the prostate gland and open into the urethra. Urethra is the final pathway of the sperm conduction. And next we are going to see about accessory glands of the male reproductive system. You will have a question as what a 3-mark question as what a write note on accessory glands of male reproductive system, accessory ducts of male reproductive system all. Okay, let's see about accessory glands of male reproductive system, which include 2-mark question: seminal vesicle, bulbourethral glands and Cowper's glands, and a single prostate gland. Please note it down, children. Seminal, so it is understood that other glands are in pair. Seminal vesicle, bulbourethral glands, Cowper's glands are in pair. Only one, that is prostate gland alone in single. So the single accessory gland present in the male reproductive system of human is dash. You will get confusion. Please be sure of that. Bulbourethral gland. So you can see here, children, see seminal vesicle, there are 2 seminal vesicles are there. Bulbourethral gland, there are 2 bulbourethral glands are there. But the prostate gland is only one. Okay, children. So then bulbourethral glands, otherwise called as Cowper's gland, this is also 1-mark question. So the single or unpaired accessory glands present in the male reproductive system is prostate gland. Then the seminal vesicle secrete an alkaline fluid called seminal plasma containing fructose, sugar, ascorbic acid, prostaglandins and coagulating enzyme called vesiculase, which enhance the sperm motility. Okay, children, let's see about seminal vesicle. First, one by one we will see seminal vesicle. So what are the secretions? So gland means we know very well, secrete something. So seminal vesicle also a gland only. What does it secrete? That is the thing. So it secretes something. Okay, seminal vesicle secretes something. What it secrete? It is given here. Alkaline fluid. Seminal vesicle secrete alkaline fluid. That is, it will not be acidic in nature. It is alkaline in nature. And what are the constituents or component present in the secretion of seminal vesicles? Or seminal plasma containing fructose sugar, ascorbic acid, prostaglandins and enzymes, coagulating enzymes called vesiculase, which enhance the sperm motility. Okay, these are the substance: sugar, ascorbic acid, prostaglandins and vesiculase are the 4 substances present in the secretion of seminal vesicle, which enhance the sperm motility. Next, we coming for a bulbourethral gland. As I said, it is also in pair, inferior to the prostate gland, and their secretion also helps in the lubrication of this penis. Underline it. Which gland is helping for the lubrication of which gland secretion in male reproductive system help for the lubrication of penis is what? Bulbourethral gland. Then the prostate encircle the urethra. Yes, already I said. Then the ejaculatory duct pass through the prostate gland. Yes, already I said ejaculatory duct pass through the urethra. So then the prostate encircle the urethra and is just below the urinary bladder, where it is present just below the urinary bladder. What is its secretion? It is highly acidic in nature. It is highly acidic fluid. See, the secretion of seminal vesicle is alkaline fluid. The secretion of bulbourethral gland is acidic fluid. And what are the constituents of this acidic fluid? Citrate, several enzymes and prostate specific antigens are the things present or the substance present in the secretion of bulbourethral glands. Okay. Next, semen or seminal fluid is a milky. What is semen? And mention its function. You will have a 2-mark question. Semen or seminal fluid is a milky white fluid which contains sperms and the seminal plasma secreted from the seminal vesicle, prostate gland and bulbourethral gland. So semen, what is semen? Semen, it is a seminal or seminal fluid. It is a milky white fluid which contains both sperms as well as seminal plasma. What is seminal plasma? That is, the seminal plasma include secretion of seminal vesicle, prostate gland and bulbourethral glands. So all these secretion, 3 secretions together form what? A seminal vesicle. Seminal vesicle is a liquid medium in that sperms are swimming. Okay, so the sperm and the seminal plasma together form what? Semen. And next one is the seminal fluid act as a transport medium, provides nutrient, contains chemical that protect and activate the sperm and also facilitate their movement. Okay, what is the function of seminal fluid? It's a transport medium. Of course, this is a fluid medium in which sperms are swimming actively and which transport the sperm to the female reproductive tract. So hence it is called a transport medium. And this seminal vesicle, seminal fluid is provide a nutrient for the sperm and contains chemical. This contains chemical. This chemical protect and activate the sperm. It protect the sperm and also activate the sperm and also facilitate their movement. So these are the functions of seminal fluid. What is seminal fluid means and its function you will get as 3 mark question. Next, the penis is the male external genitalia functioning as a copulatory organ. It is made up of a special tissue that helps in the erection of penis to facilitate insemination. The enlarged end of the penis is called glans. Penis is covered by a loose fold of skin called foreskin or perfuse. Then next we are going to, so that's all children about male reproductive system. Okay, so about male reproductive system, very easy. When you understand and learn, it will be very easy. It will not be difficult. You can answer for all the questions. Okay children, in first paragraph about general, what are the structure present in the male reproductive system, they have said. And next paragraph about the testis, why sperms of first paragraph itself, why sperms are produced in the scrotum, or why scrotum is placed outside the abdominal cavity, and sperm production taken place in the scrotum, why, all thermoregulators all discussed in the first paragraph. And next one is about seminiferous tubules, or we discussed seminiferous tubules and the cells present in the seminiferous tubules. What are the cells present in the seminiferous tubules? Sertoli cells and Merle germ cells and inhibitins, all the second paragraph answer. And about today's class, two things I have discussed with you so far. One is accessory duct, another one is accessory glands. And accessory duct and its location and its passage, and accessory glands, its secretions and its health, all I have discussed. Next I am going to discuss with you about the female reproductive system. It's a far more complex than the male because in addition to gamete formation, it has to nurture the developing fetus. Okay, see children, the male reproductive system, it has only production of sperm, but this is a female reproductive system. You will get sometime as 2 mark question. Why female reproductive system are so complex than the male? Why? Because see, the both male and female reproductive system involved in the production of gametes. Okay, see, male reproductive system has only that function, but along with that female reproductive system has another one function, that is what? To nurture the developing fetus is the another function. In uterus only the fetus are developing. In the uterus the fetus is nourished through the placenta or umbilical cord, and this additional function has taken place in the female reproductive system. So why the female reproductive system is more complex than the male reproductive system? And the female reproductive system consists of a pair of, what are the structure? Please see in the text children. The female reproductive system consists of a pair of ovaries along with a pair of oviduct, uterus, cervix, vagina, and the external genitalia located in the pelvic region. These parts along with the mammary glands are integrated structurally and functionally to support the process of ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy, childbirth and childcare. So children, so already what are the parts of major parts of the female reproductive system? As a pair of ovaries, is fallopian tube, uterus, vagina, cervix, along with that mammary gland, or take part in the support of process of ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy, childbirth and child care. Okay, let's see one by one. What are ovaries? First we will see about ovaries. Ovaries are the primary female sex organs that produce the female gamete or ovum. The ovaries are where they are located, one on each side of the lower abdomen. Okay, it is located in the lower abdomen. It is not like testis. Testis is located outside the abdominal cavity, that is in the scrotal region. And next one is the ovary is an elliptical structure about 2 to 4 centimeter long. Each ovary is covered by a thin cuboidal epithelium called germinal epithelium, which encloses the ovarian stroma. So each ovary is covered by a thin cuboidal epithelium called the germinal epithelium. What is it which encloses the ovarian stroma? What is the stroma? Stroma is differentiated. That is inside the ovary. The whole place is called what? Stroma. The stroma is differentiated into outer cortex and inner medulla. Below the germinal epithelium is a dense connective tissue, the tunica albuginea. Okay, below the germinal epithelium. So ovaries are covered by a tissues called made up of germinal epithelium. Below the germinal epithelium, a dense connective tissue called tubica albuginea is present. Next, let's see about cortex. So, inside the ovary, the whole structure is called stroma, and the stroma is differentiated into outer cortex and inner medulla. I said the stroma is differentiated at the in the cortex region appears dense and granular. Why it is the cortex is appear dense and granular is due to the presence of ovarian follicle in the various stages of development. Due to the ovarian follicle, you see children, see every 28 days cycle one ovarian follicle rupture and release the egg. Okay, so in that way many ovarian follicle at various stages of maturation can be seen in the ovaries. So these various stages of ovarian follicles are located in the cortex region of the ovaries. In the ovarian follicle only the ova are present. When the ovarian follicle mature, it releases the egg from the ovarian follicle, right? Okay. So the cortex appears dense and granular. Why? Because the presence of ovarian follicle in various stages of development. Next, medulla. The medulla is a loose connective tissue with abundant blood vessel, lymphatic vessel and nerve fibers. Okay, what are the structures present in the inner medulla? Loose connective tissue. Inner medulla is a loose connective tissue and it consists of abundant blood vessels, lymphatic vessel, nerve fibers are present. Okay, this what about a structure of what? Ovary. That is ovary. It is elliptical in structure, 2 to 4 centimeter in long, and it is covered with cuboidal epithelial cells called germinal epithelium. Below the germinal epithelium, it is tunica albuginea is present. It is a connective tissue, and inside the germinal epithelium there is an ovarian stroma. Ovarian stroma is differentiated into outer cortex and inner medulla. What are right about cortex? The cortex of the ovarian follicle or what? Dense and granular. Why? Because the cortex occupying the various stages of ovarian follicle. And next one is what? Inner medulla region. So this inner medulla region is made up of a loose connective tissue and it has abundant blood vessels, lymphatic vessels and nerve fibers. The ovary remain attached to the pelvic wall and uterus by an ovarian ligaments called mesovarium. So this what is mesovarium? You will get a 2 mark question. It is nothing but the ovary attached to the pelvic region and with the uterus by a connective tissue called what? Mesovarium, or ligaments called mesovarium. Next, okay, we will finish about what? Ovaries we finished. So ovary is continued as you see children. Next page we will see that. See here. See ovary continued as what? Fallopian tube. Let's see about a fallopian tube. The fallopian tubes are uterine tubes or oviduct. Uterus and vagina constitute the female accessory organs. Okay, so like male reproductive system, in male reproductive system only testis is the primary sex organ, other structures considered as accessory duct and accessory glands. Okay, same way in female reproductive system also the fallopian tube, uterus, vagina constitute the accessory organ. Each fallopian tube extends from the periphery of each ovary to the uterus. Okay, so where it's located, fallopian tubule, or where it extends from where to where it extends. That is, it is extended from the periphery of the ovary to the uterus of female reproductive system, to the uterus. And then proximal part of the fallopian tube bears a funnel shaped infundibulum. You will get the infundibulum structure in the text figure given in the next page, children. You can see. So fallopian tube, it starts from the periphery of ovary, children. In that place is called what? Proximal part. And which is called distal part, where it is connected with the uterus, is called distal part. So the proximal part of the oviduct has a funnel shaped structure. This funnel shaped structure is called infundibulum. The edges of the infundibulum have a many finger like projection called fimbriae. Okay, children. So that what is the function of fimbriae? Which help in the collection of the ovum after ovulation. Okay, children. See, you can see the figure of the fimbriae and infundibulum. So that fimbriae, it is a finger like structure which is attached to the ovary. And what is the function of fimbriae? It collect this ova after ovulation. So when ovulation taken place, the Graafian follicle mature and release the ova into the fallopian tube. Okay, so this ova are collected by the fimbriae of infundibulum and enter into the fallopian tube. Okay, and next one is the infundibulum leads to a wider central portion called what? Ampulla. So infundibulum leads to a wider portion of the fallopian tube is called ampullae. And the last part of the oviduct is the isthmus, which is short and thick walled, connecting the ampulla and infundibulum to the uterus. Okay, but the last part of the oviduct is known as what? Isthmus. Okay, and what is the function of isthmus? It is which is short and thick and connecting the ampulla and infundibulum to the uterus. Okay, that ampulla and infundibulum to the uterus. Last part is called isthmus. What are, then you will get a question, what are the various parts of the fallopian tube? The proximal part, infundibulum leads to ampulla, that is a wider part, and the last part is short and thicker called isthmus. Okay, so these are about what? Fallopian tube. The function of isthmus is which connect the infundibulum and ampulla to the uterus. That's all, children, about fallopian tube. So about fallopian tube, if we recap, what we can say, fallopian tube, which is an accessory gland. Okay, right. It is extend from the periphery of the uterus to periphery of the ovary to the uterus, and it has three parts. The proximal part of the fallopian tube, which is attached to the ovary, is called infundibulum. The infundibulum consists of a finger like structures called fimbriae. The fimbriae receive the egg from the ovary after ovulation, and then infundibulum leads to a wider part called ampullae, and then ampullae where the fertilization taken place. Here only fertilization taken place, noted, children. And next, ampullae leads to a short and thicker region called isthmus. Isthmus connect the infundibulum ampullae with the uterus. That's all about it, children. Next we will come for uterus. Yes, uterus, it is otherwise called as womb, is a hollow, thick walled, muscular, highly vascular. Vascular, you understood, is richly supplied with blood vessels. And in what is the shape of uterus? It is inverted pear shaped structure lying in the pelvic cavity. Where it is located? It is located in the pelvic cavity. You will get in NEET exam all, you will get question like what one of the following statement is not correct regarding uterus. Okay, the shape of the uterus is pear shaped, inverted pear shape. Yes, this statement is correct. That it is located in the pelvic cavity. Yes, correct. It is located in between the urinary bladder and rectum. Yes, correct. So other than this, one point they will give as a wrong point, that we should find out and write. Okay, children, the major portion of the uterus is the body. Okay, so then and the rounded region superior to it is called what? Fundus. The uterus open into the vagina through a narrow cervix. Okay, the cavity of the cervix is called a cervical canal, communicate with the vagina through the external orifice and with the uterus through the internal orifice. Okay, then the cervical canal along with the vagina form the birth canal. So what is birth canal? Cervical canal with vagina together called only birth canal. So okay, children, uterus or otherwise called as womb, it is a hollow, thick walled, muscular, highly vascularized, inverted pear shaped structure, and located in the pelvic cavity in between the uterus and rectum, urinary bladder and rectum. Major portion is what? Body. And the rounded region superior to it is called fundus. Uterus where it is open through the open to the vagina through the cervix. What is cervix? The cavity of the cervix is called a cervical canal, and circumstance communicate with the vagina through the external orifices and uterus through the internal orifices. What is birth canal? The cervical canal along with vagina is called what? Birth canal. Next, the wall of the uterus has 3 layers. Now we are going to see about walls of uterus. The walls of the uterus has 3 layers of tissues. What are the 3 layers of tissues? Outer, middle and inner. Outer layer, it is a membranous serous layer and it is called perimetrium. Then middle layer, it is a muscular layer called mesometrium. Inner layer called endometrium. 2 mark question, children. Write about the walls of uterus. And then endometrium undergoes cyclical changes during the menstrual cycle, while myometrium exhibits strong contraction during parturition. So these are the functions of what? 3 layers. Endometrium undergo cyclic changes during the menstrual cycle, and during childbirth the myometrium do strong contraction to expel out the fetus from uterus through vagina or birth canal. Next, vagina. Vagina is a large fibromuscular tube that extends from the cervix into the exterior. It is a female organ of copulation. Female reproductive structure that lie external to vagina are called as what? External genitalia or vulva, comprising of labia. What are the external genitalia outside the vagina? That is labia majora, labia minora, hymen and clitoris. Then here bulbourethral glands, also called greater vestibular glands, are located posterior to the left and right of the opening of the vagina. Okay, let's see about bulbo. Here also bulbourethral gland, like male reproductive system. In female reproductive system also have Bartholin's gland. Bartholin's glands, otherwise called as greater vestibular glands, are where it is located posterior to the left and right of the vagina. Okay, vagina you know very well. Above in the vagina posterior region, both side, right side and left side, it has Bartholin's glands. Then they secrete mucus to lubricate the vagina and are homologous to the bulbourethral gland. In male reproductive system, bulbourethral gland secrete secretion which help for the lubrication of penis. Same way, Bartholin's gland help for the secretion for lubricate the vagina. So since both are involved in the lubrication function, both are homologous organs in male and female reproductive system only. So the organ which is homologous to Bartholin's gland male is what? Bulbourethral gland. Same way, the organ which is homologous to bulbourethral gland in female is Bartholin's gland. Then the Skin's gland are located on the anterior wall of the vagina and around the lower end of the urethra. So what is the function of Skin's gland? Secrete lubricating fluid and are homologous to the prostate gland of the male. So these all you should clear, children. And next one is the external opening of the vagina is partially closed by a thin ring of tissue called the hymen. So external opening of the vagina, it is closed by a thin ring of tissue. This thin ring of tissue is called hymen. So the hymen is often turned during the first coitus, that is physical union of male and female. However, in some women it remains intact. It can be stretched or torn due to sudden fall or jolt, and also during strenuous physical activities such as cycling, horseback riding, etc., and therefore cannot be considered as an indicator of woman's virginity. So in those days they are using this water hymen as an hymen used to check the human virginity. But what the bad thing is, sometimes this hymen is intact in some human female, and sometimes it will be torn due to heavy physical exercise, cycling and horse riding all. So we cannot consider this as an indicator of woman's virginity. And mammary gland or modified sweat gland present in both sexes. It is rudimentary in male and functional in the female. A pair of mammary gland is located in the thoracic region. It contains glandular tissue and variable quantities of fat with a median nipple surrounded by a pigmented area called areola. Several sebaceous glands called areolar glands are found on the surface, and they reduce cracking of the skin of the nipples. So internally each mammary gland consists of how many lobules? 2 to 25 lobules, then separated by a fat connective tissue. Each lobule is made up of lobules. Each lobes are made up of lobules which contain acini or alveoli lined with epithelial cells. Cells of the alveoli secrete milk. The alveoli open into the alveoli open into the mammary tubules. Tubules of each lobe join to form mammary duct. Several mammary duct join to form a wide mammary ampulla which is connected to the lactiferous duct in the nipple. So this is the way the milk secretion is passed to outside of the mammary glands. Okay, children, alveoli, from the alveoli or acini, it is open into the mammary tubules. Tubules join to form a mammary duct. Mammary duct join to form a mammary ampulla. Mammary ampulla open into the lactiferous duct of the nipple. Under the nipple, each lactiferous duct expand to form lactiferous sinus, which serves as a reservoir of milk. Each lactiferous duct open separately by a minute pore on the surface of the nipples. Okay, so lactiferous duct under the nipple, each lactiferous duct expand to form a lactiferous sinus, which serve as a reservoir of milk. Then each lactiferous duct open separately by a minute pore. This is called in the nipple. Then normal development of the breast begins at puberty and progress with changes during each menstrual cycle. In non-pregnant women, the glandular structure is largely underdeveloped, and the breast size is largely due to amount of fat deposits. The size of the breast does not have an influence on the efficiency of lactation. Okay, children. So I will stop with this today. Hope you have a clear idea about male and female reproductive system. And the homework today I want to give is what? The entire structure of male reproductive system. Entire structure of male reproductive system. This is the only question I want to give to you today. Complete it and keep it ready. Then we will meet in our next class, children. Bye.